Hey Aquarius, and welcome to my channel Alchemist 8. Justin here, and I hope you're having an awesome week so far. So for those of you who are returning, thank you for your subscriptions, your likes, your shares. I really appreciate it. And for those of you who are new, I'm happy your higher selves have brought you here. You are in for a treat. So what I'm going to be doing this week is a reading from the week of October 16th through the 22nd. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one, so take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me. Never force a reading on a situation, okay? So, that being said, let's get started. Your space has been cleansed. Jim, say hey. I'm going to be pulling 15 cards. They're going to be in, well, maybe. They're going to be in 5 groups of 3. The middle group is going to represent the nature of your problem. The upper left and upper right hand corner are going to be some future options you're considering. The bottom left is going to be some perspectives to consider in relationship to the nature of the problem. And then the bottom right is going to be how your what messages your higher self would like you to know. And in case you were curious, I'm using Aleister Crowley's Thoth deck. The cards, well, when they want to work, well, when these hands want to work, the art on these cards are super cool, is what I'm trying to say. And I'll make sure to show you those throughout. So, higher self, take the wheel because I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, thanks. Look at that. Look at that, Aquarius. Oh, should do that more often. All right, let's finish up here. A lot of big energy this week, Aquarius. Okay. We're not playing around. Oh, okay. Let's get these cards organized and get into your reading. Okay. All right. Let's see what's cooking. Okay. All right. Let's do it, Aquarius. So, for the nature of your problem, what a big bad guy he is, the Emperor. And then the cards that came along with it are the Prince of Wands and the Moon. So for the nature of your problem this week, with your card being the Emperor, I feel like for some of you, you are trying to figure out how to channel that Emperor energy, which I don't know why you're trying so hard, because you're a boss, Aquarius. That's been the theme this week. Everyone seems to need a self-esteem boost, and I am with it. You're bossy, Aquarius, and it's just coming into that. It's realizing that confidence. You know, it's one thing for everyone else to tell you that, but this is something, Emperor energy, no one can tell you how to do that. No one, you just wake up like this. You just have to realize that. Because look at this guy. Do you think there's no question mark above his head. He's the Emperor. So take that question mark off your head. If you've been doubting that, if there's been any type of, whatever mentalities have been, bringing you down from that, or if there's people too, and I only say that, and I'm going to get to him in a second, but I say that because we got a prince here, we got a prince and we got a queen here. Oh, we got 2 princes. And usually, or sometimes, the princes can represent people. If it's not you, then it can represent another person. Take it as it resonates. But what I'm more so feeling here is, usually when it comes to bossing up and leveling up and all that good stuff, it's ourselves that usually get in the way of that. Because, Aquarius, again, I know how great you are. It's in the cards. Look at that. Even my higher self. I was like, take the wheel. You're a boss. So, again, I will tell you this until the sun goes down and when it rises again. And while the moon's, and let's not forget while the moon's out. You're a boss. And I don't know if you and I'm just teasing when I say this, but I don't know if some of you you already know it and you just want to hear it again, which, whatever you. But I'm not mad at that either. Because that's what it's, with this Prince of Wands here, that's what it wants you to be. I feel like the Prince of Wands being here is a reminder to be bold, be confident. You're the shit, Aquarius. And that's what he's here for. The Prince of Wands, usually and I'm glad the Princess is here. usually her and the Knight of Wands are like my double-edged swords, just because, you know, when you're dealing with, especially like fire, the princes represent air and the wands represent fire, so he's the airy part of fire. But I feel like in this instance, which is awesome, because he's getting what does fire need to keep going? It needs that air. He's keeping that going. So I feel like this is calling upon you, or with him being here, this is calling upon you to fuel that fire that you have, because no one else can do that. You know, I can keep, well, I mean, I'm trying, you know, I'm trying to let you know that you're boss and that you're all these things, hold your head up high and all that stuff, but you have to tell yourself that first, and you have to believe that, you know, because this guy is bold, confident, you know, maybe even a little brazen sometimes, you know, but he means well. His energy is in the right place, and he just wants to be seen, you know. I feel like, and be acknowledged, you know. And I feel like this might be a part that you've been neglecting, you know. Get that confidence back, you know. One thing to do, in this may sound silly, something I even had been doing just within the last couple weeks, you know, just even in your walk, how you present yourself, you know. If you find yourself that you're kind of like lean over, you're kind of looking at the ground a lot, raise your chest up some, you know, put your shoulders back, put your head up high, and just like, let that be your mantra. I am the boss. And you know what? I've been challenging pretty much every other sign with different things, and that's going to be your challenge this week. Well, on top of bossing up. It's, you know, tell yourself those things. Get yourself in a power pose, you know, stand with your, you know, middle of the living room and declare, I am the boss. And no matter who hears it, as long as you hear it, you know, because again, we all know that, Aquarius. We're just waiting on you to realize that. So that's what I'm feeling with this Prince of Wands here. And I like that the Moon card came along with this, because the Moon is a card of illusions and deceptions and, you know, mysteries and things like that. But I'm really more so feeling with this is talking about the deceptions that you're telling yourself. Why you feel like you're not an emperor. And what is that serving you? Like, is that, because the Moon is not one that's trying to bring you down. If you look at this, you know, I talked about it being representing illusions and stuff. You know, you got the Moon right here, and it's super inviting. But, you know, maybe that initial, you see these two Anubis figures here, and it's like, I'm not sure if I'm emperor enough, or even hell, if I'm even Prince of Wands enough to even deal with that. And it's just like, I bet you if these two could turn their head, they look at you like, what are you talking about, Aquarius? We've been waiting for you. Come claim your Moon. Come get this emperor energy. Why are you just standing there? Get that confidence and go out and be that, channel that big energy that you know that you have. You know, this is, you know, I feel like, what is it? I remember seeing something for Aquarius. It's just like, you know, their mantra, or one of the things is just like, I know. You need to know this, Aquarius, that you are the boss. And I don't know what other ways I can say it, but I will find creative ways. We're going to find it in this reading. So, but that's what I'm feeling like here. I feel like the Moon is calling you to change that mentality, to look at that, you know, that doubt of that you're not a boss, you know, and to realize, to come into that, shine some light on that, so that you can get some shit done. You know, let's and before we move on, I also want to mention too that the Moon can represent voluntary change. And what better way to change than that mentality shift? You know, that I just did this to someone else. Change that perspective, you know, and realize that you're an emperor, you're a king, you're a queen. This is not gender specific. You are the ruler of you are the shit in your story, the protagonist. Be that. All right. I'm not gonna beat you, you know, because I feel like this is more so just kind of inflating your ego. Let's move on, Aquarius. We're not here for that. Well, yes, we are. Where do we want to move? Let's go. You know what? I was just talking about clarity. Let's start over here. So, for some of you, on this right-hand side for some future outcomes, looking at the Queen of Swords, the Eight of Cups, and the Priestess. So, Queen of Swords, She is about clarity. She is literally, they classify her as the liberator of the mind. You see that head there? That's that old mentality. That person is the one that we've been telling ourselves who's not an emperor, who might not oh, he can't do anything, or again, not gender specific. They can't, like, oh, I can't do this. That's whatever negative things. I'm not trying to feed into that. We're trying to lift you up. Whatever negative things you've been telling yourself, that's what this head is. She can't be bothered with that. Look how confident she is. She took her shirt off and said, "What? What do you want to bring? Who's got shit to say about me?" And this is even. It doesn't have to be necessarily people who's been saying shit about her, because remember, we are all talking about how awesome you are, Aquarius. She's talking to you. Why are you keep saying that? You Emperor. And she knows that. She even knows that. She's on she built a throne of clouds so that she can yell it from the heavens. Aquarius is awesome. And again, I feel like some of you are okay, that's enough of that. But with this Queen of Swords, I do feel like she does represent that clarity, that, and I do feel like you are coming to that. Again, the princes and the queens can represent people, so maybe this is another cheerleader. You know what? I got a little air in my chart. So, take this. Oh, and I got water in my chart. So take this. If it doesn't help that, if the fact that this topless woman up here is intimidating you, then let me tell you, you got this. You are, you're coming to, I feel like you're coming to the realization of that. So I'm still getting caught up with stroking your ego. But yeah, this is about that clarity here. Now, with this Eight of Cups here, I feel like with this one here, the Eight of Cups can represent, maybe some, like unmet goals or laziness, procrastination. I feel like you're not utilizing your cups to your fullest, and maybe it's part way because some of you have been kind of low energy, been trying to channel this Emperor vibes, but just haven't quite found the motivation for it, and it's just led to some things have started to get neglected. The cups can represent emotional matters, and I feel like you're trying to, in the attempt of trying to get this clarity, it's draining, realizing, because I get it, it's one thing to hear it all the time, but if you don't believe it or things, it drains from you. It pulls energy from you in ways that you're not thinking. So I feel like that with this Eight of Cups being here, this is just kind of where have we been neglecting some things, like where the energy's been low. How can we fill these cups back up again? How can we get it so that this is not so, because look, this water is all dried up here in this background. You got storm clouds, I feel like this is very stagnant energy right now. We have nothing left to give, and now you're just kind of like stuck. You want to move, but it's just like there are just so many cups to fill now. Where do you start? Just pick a place and just go, is what I would say. No matter, there is no action too big or too small as long as you're taking a step forward. That's really what I'm feeling with this Eight of Cups here. And that's perfect that the Priestess is here, because the Priestess represents, she's really about that. Her whole thing is about intuition and like really really refining that skill and learning how to deal with the fluctuations of life, that ebb and flow that life throws at us. She takes all that energy, the good and the bad. She takes that and manifests it and takes all the growth from both of them. She doesn't linger too long in either. It is about finding that balance. And when you do, look at what she's manifesting. She has a cornucopia down here. This is her abundance, even a little camel down here. I love it. Whatever that looks like for you, Aquarius, that's something that the Priestess, I feel like, is calling you to do. Once we've gotten that clarity, start taking that first step, then we can start. You can worry about the little details later and refining them as you go. As you start, get your intuition and start moving things along. But I really do feel like here, trust your gut. You know what to do. Queen of Swords said it. I'm saying it, and probably everyone in your circle has said it. So just keep that in mind going into this week. All right, Aquarius. So let's move on from that. Let's move on to this other option here. I like this one as well. So with some others, you have the Nine of Disc here, the Hierophant, and the Princess of Cups. Now, with this Nine of Disc, now this is a card of gain. It's about card of, and it can be for monetary gain. But usually if there isn't like a clear kind of thing that it's sticking to, I like to really kind of lump in my cups and my disc is just whatever abundance looks like for you in this moment. That changes all the time. One week there's one week I might need all the money. Next week I could use a little more emotional support, whatever that looks like for you. But regardless, there is gain. That gain is coming once that. Oh, and nice thing too, and I've been making sure, and that's something I'm going to make sure to emphasize here on out. With these future options, you're not just limited to door number 1 or door number 2. This is the nice thing about the future is play around with it. Feel like you're done with this Eight of Cups. Leave it. We're bringing in that Queen of Swords energy, that Priestess energy to get that gain. Play around with this future how you will. You are the manifester here. But in all of that, I feel like with the Hierophant being here, Hierophant represents a number of things. I feel like in this instance, this is you gaining that divine wisdom, really that clarity that I was talking about with that Queen of Swords energy. I feel like that's where the Hierophant is coming in. This is like really doubling down on that. We've gone from like you understanding things to like, fuck, I'm about almost ready to teach it. Because the Hierophant can also represent too. Maybe some of you, you're this Emperor energy, but maybe you're trying to figure out, maybe you're taking up a new project, trying to figure out where to channel this energy, and you might be in search of a teacher, or maybe you're getting ready to to teach people how to boss up, but. You just might have been, you're just in a rut right now. You might have forgot how bossy you are. So, I feel like with this energy also too, just be patient. This is Taurus's card, with patience and perseverance and all of that, stick true to you. We'll be emperors. I expect to go outside and just see emperors all over the place. But yeah, Am I feeling that? Are we done here, Hierophant? Yeah, we're done here. Okay. Now, with this Princess of Cups being here, the Princess of Cups represents for me generosity. And I feel like more so, yes, being generous with others, but it will start with being generous towards yourself, and you could even lump that in with being compassionate as well. But it's how you would go about making someone else feel good about themselves and, lifting it up, and how you would share abundance with them. The Princess of Cups, I feel, is asking you to do the same for yourself. Treat yourself with that same love and nurturing, what am I trying to say here? With that same passion that you would, let's start over. How you would be generous to others, do that to yourself, is what the Princess of Cups trying to say. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but that's what she would like from you. Give to yourself. Don't because partway too, that might be why some of you might be feeling like maybe a little, stretched a little thin this week, or not quite, embodying your Emperor energy, just because you might be giving too much, and now it's kind of become you've given all you had. And now you don't feel like giving anymore, and it's just like it's gotten a little, we've gotten a little stagnant, a little lazy, but that's not a bad thing, as long as you're, I feel like really take this time, while you're kind of in this place, maybe let's start shifting this energy elsewhere. Maybe if you feel like you haven't been doing something, do something for yourself. Be generous towards yourself. Go treat yourself. I can tell people either go treat yourself to a bath, get yourself, go get a haircut, whatever it looks like for you to well, the Empress isn't here, but, you know, anything that kind of looks like, you know, self-care to you, be generous to yourself. Give yourself that same type of attention that you would give to others. And I really do feel like you're going to flourish in the long run, Aquarius. So it's only a matter of time. I definitely feel like our vibes have raised from last week. So we're moving in the right direction. So now it's time to really own that. Like, and I say own it. Own this energy that you're bringing, because you got good stuff to give. And the nice thing too with this one more thing with this Princess of Cups, you know, it's one of those things when you've taken the time and you've gotten that confidence back, and then you're going to give out and being generous, you know, and finding whatever it is that gives you that fulfillment. She kind of gives me kind of fulfillment vibes too. But my point is getting to, you know, as you're going to share this energy with others, you'll notice, like, once that mentality gets back up, you're starting feeling good, it's going to come back at you. You know, what you put out, it definitely does come back tenfold. So, you know, stay tight. You know, like, be patient that's what I meant to say. You know, yeah, be patient and all of that, because it's coming. You know, I've been telling people, you know, the Hierophant moves according to this book, he moves every 2,000 years. We're not trying to move that slow, Aquarius. But, you know, let's give yourself the amount of time, but do know it's coming. It's absolutely coming. You know, whatever this energy, wherever you're trying to channel that, I'm seeing good things on the horizon, Aquarius. So let's go ahead and move on from the future. Let's see what perspectives we might be considering here. I like this. So, with the bottom left, with perspectives to consider, got the Prince of Cups here, the Magus, and the Three of Swords. So, Prince of Cups, he's a funny character. With his deal, he's a type that he's not one to really, despite being one of the watery, because the princes represent air and then the cups represent water. He's the airy part of water. Despite being a prince, because of that water element, he is a little more in touch with his emotions, but the prince doesn't like to show it. His face he gives this, like, very calm, you know, composed demeanor on the outside, but you see all these clouds and stuff around here. I like to feel that that's what's happening on the inside, and it's all bleeding out. You know, like, he's in whatever that means. You know, it could be something he's passionate about, something that's stressing him out. You know, whatever that is, he's letting that build up. And I feel like with the Prince of Cups showing up here, it's just like, be careful with that. You know, it's good that you are in touch with these feelings, you know, that you're aware of these feelings, but don't bottle them up. You know, it's one of those things, you know, don't suffer in silence. You know, let that kind of stuff out, because over time that will, it just festers into this, like, you know, becomes, you know, because that could be what's on your head. You know, you know that you've been dragging your feet, or know that you haven't been, doing things that you're supposed to, but you keep staying in that, and, you know, you keep feeding that, like, you keep, every week it's like it's the same story. You know, it's like, I keep feeling bad, I'm gonna do this thing eventually, and then, you know what, before you know it, all that shit's done blown up, and then it's become a whole big mess, and we're trying to avoid big messes. So, you know, that's what I'm feeling like with this Prince of Cups. You know, definitely don't bottle that stuff up. You know, definitely, it's one thing to be calm and composed and all that stuff, but don't bottle it up. Definitely, when things are getting overwhelming, definitely make sure you have outlets to address that. That's what I'm getting with him. Now, with the Magus being here, normally he's about, and that's appropriate, you know, he's a card of manifestation, you know, and really at its nascency. You know, he's like, oh, you know, once he's realized that his Emperor energy, he's the type, like, okay, I'm gonna make a car, and then I'm gonna manifest a cat, and then I want a big bed, and then, you know, like, that's his thing. You know, he's very very, very creative, very very motivated. He's not stuck in Eight of Cups. He wants to do, if he saw these Eight of Cups, bet you he's about to turn all this into something. And I feel like it's saying that while you're doing manifesting this, and I feel like this could even be also you manifesting your energy, while you're trying to manifest this Emperor energy. He's, look at that big old smile that he has on his face. I like to feel, or I like to think with the Magus too, that he invites us to have fun while we're doing this journey. Whatever we're trying to manifest, whether that be confidence for ourselves, whatever, abundance that we want in general, or that we feel that we need in general. Have fun with it. Don't be careful not to get in this Three of Swords energy, because this is something, this is a card of sorrow, melancholy, kind of depression, maybe some kind of unexpected disturbance, but things are not in balance. This is very similar to this Eight of Cups vibe here. And these cards that normally would maybe be called negative cards, these are, I like to think of them as more as spots where we could shine some awareness on our lives. That's because you should never ignore these things, because that's how they become something insurmountable. But when you give them, treat it with that kind of playful space. It's just like, hey, okay, what's going on? Why am I feeling down in the dumps? What is this? How can I shift this so that hold on. I was like, how can I shift this mentality so I can get to this Emperor energy? And I feel like part of it is one, talking about it, and this is not like any kind of medical advice or anything. I'm not saying necessarily go to like a therapist, but even just something as simple as just talking to like a close friend, talking to a family member, someone who you feel comfortable enough expressing these kind of things, because sometimes we find it's easier to manifest when we kind of get it out there, because if we're ignoring it, kind of being lazy about dealing with it, then that's how these cups keep growing. What started out as just like, oh, there's just one cup that I was like kind of ignoring. It was kind of doing this thing, but now it's starting to become a thing. And then that's how you eventually end up with the Devil moment, with the Tower moment, the Hanged Man. And again, even though they're all welcome, if we can limit the amount of those that we have, that would be awesome too. So this is, really focus this week. I feel like it's one of those things. Definitely don't suffer in silence. That's really what I feel like the spirits are trying to get out. At least that's what I keep channeling. It's just, and know that it's going to be okay. I'm pretty sure I said this last week, but I'll keep saying it again. It's going to be okay. And I'll add on, you're the boss. So whenever you need, Aquarius, we're here for you. All right. Let's go ahead and move on to what your higher self would like you to know, because I feel like that's pretty good. Holler if you need anything else. I love that. Okay. Yeah, I love it when the higher self is on it. So, which the higher self is always on it. That's me who's, hit or miss. Moving on. So, let me stop rubbing this fortune in your face. So, what your higher self wants you to know is fortune, Princess of Wands, and Ten of Swords. Now, what do you think this means? Obviously, fortune. Good stuff. Good stuff coming in. The thing with the Wheel of Fortune, though, that I like to say, that Wheel of Fortune doesn't just fall in your lap. I had to pull that for that to happen. And even then, it's one of those things that's like having the winning lottery ticket and not doing anything, and not going to cash it in. That's how you have to make the most of your fortune. I don't know if you can see, there's these hands on here. You got to move that, or I think they're whole arms. Yeah, look at that. You even got a whole arm here, not just your hands. You look at that. And this is one of those things you got to spin that wheel. Get this thing moving, because man, once you do, it's just going to be jackpot. 9 of coins just falling out of the sky. That's multiple. This action is multiple 9 of coins falling out. But that's where I feel like, your higher self is letting you know you have the power to, get some, whatever that fortune looks like for you. You have it. And with this Princess of Wands showing up here, I'm getting very similar vibes to kind of the Prince of Swords, to have that confidence, that boldness, that kind of that drive. She's very ambitious energy. She's kind of like that. She sort of reminds me of that thing when you really, you've probably had this moment where it's like, you feel like you found your calling, and then like you've had this fire that really just drives you. That's Princess of Wands. The only caveat I have with her is, and I know there's a definitely a more deeper meaning to her being naked, but as excited and as great as her energy is, sometimes it can be a little reckless. You have to be careful with how you channel your wand's energy. Because sure, I like your tiger, I like your wand. I don't know what's going on with this hat, but again, girl, you're naked, your tiger's asleep. Really, what is this hat? What are we doing? What are we doing, Aquarius? That's where I feel like with her, it's one of those things. Just it's good to have this vibes, but just be mindful. Keep that. There's a fine line between ambitious and reckless. And I feel like that's where she's like that fine line. I love the energy. It's like if she came presented to me like this, like, yeah, girl, love the presentation. Okay, clothes even aside, I would have loved the tiger to even be awake. It's the little things. But I do feel like this is saying, finding that, once you find that balance, that fortune is coming. And with this Ten of Swords, lastly, this Ten of Swords is, I like the Ten of Swords. It has ruin down here, but what is going to ruin you is this, this sense of whatever this inferiority sense is that you're having, that if this applies to you, that you're not the emperor. This is to me, the Ten of Swords it's the end of faulty reasoning. You have come to, you've got that clarity. There she is, got that clarity again. We're taking heads. No more bullshit. If it's bringing you down and it's not serving your purpose, it's time to gotta cut that head off, man. We can't. And that's, I didn't even think about that. Make sure to check your surroundings too. Is there something that is kind of bringing you down, that's contributing to, and not necessarily someone per se, but any things that are interfering with this energy that you're trying to channel. Shine some light at that, and come at it with some, with compassion too. Because it kind of defeats the purpose when you realize it, and it's just like, oh, I was so stupid. Why didn't I think of that? And it's like, no, that's not what we're doing. Only positive things, Or now that you've said that negative thing, you gotta match a positive with it. And it's like, over time, Aquarius, I do with a little. Oh, hold on. With a little patience, show yourself a little generosity. A little compassion, a lot of compassion. We can level up. We can get that boss level, because we're done with illusions. And we're going to manifest stuff because we have the clarity and we've refined those skills, Aquarius. Go get that money. Go get that abundance. Yeah. Yeah, okay, let's transfer back, because now we're getting out of control. So, Aquarius, I'm channeling your Emperor energy. I hope that resonated with some of you. Really, I want it to resonate with all of you, but for sure, I want as many people to resonate with that as possible, because, and I feel like that is something that, even if you know it, it never hurts to hear it again. You're awesome. If you weren't, do you think I'd be doing this every week? Come on now. I want you to feel as great about yourself as I do, and as, I'm sure, as your circle does. So let's let that be. Let's clean up this mess, Aquarius, and then find because it's a big one. But well, at least on my end. But let's get back. Let's get our heads in the right place, because I definitely feel this is a definite improvement from last week. So I love the direction we're going. Good stuff. Yeah, let's keep that going strong. So I won't harp on that any longer. But yeah, I really hope you all resonated with this. Please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And for a clear picture, if you need just a little bit more clarity, check your moon, check your rising. Those really those your sun, moon, and rising are like your big ones, but I feel like you're more than just that. The challenge has been this week to check your Venus, is what I've been telling people. Just to anything to give you just a bigger, like a broader sense of yourself, so that you can and who knows, maybe once you've in this adventure, in this oh shit, I lost them, in this here you are, while you're manifesting stuff, you might learn something about yourself. It's like, I have a lot of Leo in my chart, in my placements, and they're like, oh, you need to be a leader, and it's like, oh, I never thought of myself as a leader. Looks like it's time to manifest that shit. And just like that, you see what I mean? So let's go ahead and do that this week, all right? Cool. All right, so now you know what time it is. It's Celestial News Weekly. Yeah. Yeah, it's become a whole thing. Every sign has gotten a different kind of Celestial News Weekly. I'm just gonna make it. We're having fun, Aquarius. That's all. We're having fun. We're having fun while we're manifesting. Let's do that. So, this week, tomorrow on the 17th is the last quarter moon, and this is a time of it represents transitions, completions, and letting things go. Letting go of that, oh man, I made a mess. Letting go of that Eight of Swords, just like, what have you been dragging your feet on? What cups have you been neglecting? That's more so, I feel like that's more so the message here. What have we been neglecting this week? Not where have we been lazy? Yeah, where have we been neglecting, and where can we show some little manifestation? Give a little priestess love in there. But it is too, about taking responsibilities for your for a mistake and for your accomplishments. So it's a good time. It's a good reflection time. Good time to really think about these feelings that, if you're, for those of you this applies to, maybe it's time to check that, have we been bottling up some things, and are there stuff that we can address, which actually kind of, hang out, buddy, because that kind of works out nicely going into the next bit of news. When the news is a little light this week, so and I went retrograde crazy last week, so I'm not going to do too much, but there's one in particular that I thought you might be interested in. Chiron, well, at least I found it fascinating. Chiron is in retrograde, and it's been in retrograde since July, and it'll end on the 23rd of December. But Chiron it was discovered, for you history buffs, in 1977, and it was classified as an asteroid, but then was later reclassified as a minor planet. And it orbits between Saturn and Uranus. And it's named after the centaur from Greek mythology. He trained, who did he train? Hercules. He trained a couple emperors. Well, I don't know if Hercules or Achilles was an emperor. It doesn't matter. But they brought emperor energy. And, this is a time about, addressing traumas. That's what Chiron's about. That's what it represents, is any kind of trauma. And with it being in retrograde, this is a really good time for like internal healing. This a time of catharsis. Really kind of getting whatever's been kind of bubbling up, whatever this three of swords energy maybe. Whatever that's kind of got you kind of sorrow, kind of melancholy, a little somber. Bring that to light. Don't let it fester. We don't want that. We do not want that. So, give it the space. Don't bottle it up. That's what Chiron's about, pretty much. Last couple things, I'm going to start getting into, just when the news is, because that ain't going to happen next week. There's a shit ton going on next week. But I'm going to start getting into aspects as well. And that is pretty much how based on the position of the planets, their energies affect us in many ways. It's not just where they are in general, but even how they can relate to like our birth chart. But this is just more so, what I'm talking about is just more so in how it's affecting us as a whole. Now, I know that sounds crazy, but stuff's real. the sun, for example, the sun is trine with Mars. And to be trine with something is that their planets are within 120 degrees, or that's how they line up, is 120 degrees. Imagine this is 120 degrees. But that energy is going to last until the 26th of this month, and it's just like it gives you that time. Gives you that impetus to push forward and like to tackle new projects, and yeah, just you got that drive to just like really just get stuff done. And what better thing to get done than to get that Emperor energy, you know? Wait, is this? Well, yeah, because this is one of Aries' card, and Aries' ruler is Mars. So channel that. You know, this is a good time. Go forward. Go and be that boss. You know, we don't have to take 2,000. Patience is required, but you don't have to take 2,000 years. You know, you can definitely move a lot faster. And that's pretty much what the Sun trine and Mars with. Last one is the Venus. Venus is squared with Pluto, and that just means that how they're lined up, they're at 90 degrees. Pretend this is 90 degrees. And that ends on the 25th of this month. And this is more so kind of being aware of any sort of like discord and in our relationships, any dissonance, and maybe addressing some underlying issues, you know, maybe so that we can foster some change. You know, let's say you know this guy, he likes to build you up all the time, but he doesn't use a coaster, and then throws cards all over the place, and keeps yelling about the planet news. I don't know what he's doing, but you know, instead of like nitpicking at this person, maybe come at it like with what I've been telling people is like, maybe go with like hey, how you doing, buddy? Is there any way that I was just thinking randomly, is there any way that I've offended you this week? Or is there a way you like to be, I don't know, like, I know let's say I greet you, come home, you greet me with tea or something. Maybe you don't want tea when you get off right out of bed. Maybe you just like, you're like, fuck the world right now. I just want to lie down and yell into a pillow, and then I'll be ready to talk to you. But it's my point is like you're opening that space, you're establishing that safe space to kind of talk about these things, you know, and then hopefully the other person it'll like spark something in them, like, oh shit, that is a really good question. Have I done the same thing to you? And then reciprocity happens, and it's a beautiful thing. You know, we want beauty to come out of all of this stuff. All right, Aquarius. Whew, that was a good one. Okay, I won't hold you too much longer. Let's go ahead and get this surprise card pulled so I can get you out of here. Whew. All right. 7 of Disc. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Failure. This is what I was talking about. This is one of those mentalities is it really serving you a purpose? Because it might be time to change that mindset. 7 of Disc has to deal with, it can be unmet goals, or where those cups go. You know, but it's, you know, unmet goals, not following through, just really unreliable energy, you know, and I feel like with this popping up, it's just like, where are those cups? Where have we been neglecting? Where have we been neglecting things? You know, this is almost like borderline, like we've been putting things on like the back burner, and it's like, hey, now, you know, you put it on simmer for a while, but now it's boiling, and it's like, yo, we need to deal with this. Ah! See? We need to deal with this. Apologize for that. But definitely, you know, if we got any sort of unmet goals, whatever that looks like for you, I feel like this, with the 7 of Disc being here, it's just asking you to just give that some space, you know. And it may not be as bad as you think. Just go ahead and tackle it. You know, it might be. There is no task too big or too small for an emperor. So I'm leaving it. I hope you enjoyed that. Please, again, like, share, subscribe. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I will catch you on the next one. Later.